Good?
Yes, sir.
Great. We're great? Some are good, some are great.
Less.
That's wonderful. Good job. How about the band, huh?
Woo! Woo! Yeah! Woo!
They'll be back in here in a little bit. Hope you'll be ready. Jesus, it's all for His glory, right? Yeah. That's what we say anyway, right? Doing it is another thing. Saying it, believing it, knowing it, that's the easy part. Living it out, that's not so easy, right? Especially in the heat of the battle and in the heat and the stress of life. Giving God the glory and living for His glory is not as easy as it sounds. But whatever He's doing in your life, everything that He's doing in your life, the good and the bad, the pleasure and the pain, it's all for His purpose. It's all for His glory. And as long as we can step back from what's going on in our own lives and remember there's a bigger picture, we'll be okay. When we get sucked into the little view of what's going on in our life right now, and we stay there, that's when things get tough for us. It's when we start losing our bigger picture focus, and we forget that God has been doing other things in our life to get us to where we are, and He's going to do other things in our life to take us out of it. But when we get trapped in the here and the now, we get sucked into depression sometimes, and we get sucked into some negative thinking. And so what we got to do is step back and take a look at the big picture. And when we do that, everything kind of makes sense again. That's what's happening in the life of Jesus. That's what's happening as we're talking about this whole idea of everything he did. And He's given all of us, He's given every one of us a platform. And our platform is the things that He's doing in our life, right? Wherever you are, whatever job you have, wherever you are in life, a young person, a middle-aged person, or an older person, wherever you are, you have a platform to share the love of God, or to share the grace of God, or to represent Him in a good and true way. Because He wants to use all of us. He's given us a platform. And I guess maybe the question for us this morning is this: what's yours? What's your platform? Katie, she's over here.
Thanks, I'm waiting for my boyfriend.
Dee, she's waiting for her boyfriend. So we have a platform, right? No one, once in a while a good athlete comes along that kind of demonstrates this idea. And I got a great slide for you right here. We need to go by it. Go forward. We got you. It's not on the paper now. Just go one click. Tim Tebow.
Yay!
How many love Tim Tebow?
Yeah!
How many don't like Tim Tebow? Okay, good. Oh, we got a hand. We got a hand. Some people like Tim Tebow. Some people don't like Tim Tebow. People make fun of Tim Tebow. But Tim Tebow, who's quarterback for the Denver Broncos, now traded to the
Jets.
See, you're all up on Tim Tebow. You're all fans. He's either loved or disliked. I guess if you're a Christian, you love him. If you're not, you don't like him. Because people don't like the fact that he represents God in the way that he does. People don't like the fact that he uses his platform to promote his faith. And he's doing exactly what I'm talking about. He shows his faith. And great slide. The next slide, you got to see this. You know what Tebow is, right? You know how Tebow, he spends a lot of time praying on the sideline. And if you watch any specials on Tim Tebow, he's singing, Lord, I lift your name on high. While he's sitting on the bench ready to go in the game, he's singing to the Lord. It's a great witness and testimony. But the next slide is precious. They beat the Steelers last year, and somebody posted this on Facebook. It says, "Mommy, I got Tebowed," and that's Ben Roethlisberger. That's a great face, isn't it? Little Ben just crying away. Awesome. But Tim Tebow, one more slide now. You got Tim again there. Tim, he's a good demonstration of how a person can use their platform to represent the Lord. How we should use our platform, whatever it is, however big it might be. It might be a school, it might be a 7th grade classroom, it might be a teller at Walmart. It doesn't matter what it is. You have a platform. We all do, and God is calling us to use our platform for Him. I like what Tim Tebow said. There was a great article, several great articles, but he says this. It says, he said, "I hope that people say that number one, that this guy is referring to himself, who loves the Lord, but that he loves people, and he wants to make a difference in their lives. He wants to help everyone he comes in contact with. He's genuine. Okay, the person who's interviewing him is talking about him. This is a quote about Tim. He's genuine, it says. He's real. He cares about people. It's not all about scoring touchdowns or being famous or anything like that. But it's about relationships. It's about making a difference in people's lives. And at the end of the day, it's about glorifying God. Don't you love that? I mean, how could you not like the guy? I mean, everything he does, he tries to just honor the Lord. And he's managed, somehow, among all his fame and popularity, he's managed to stay humble. And he continues to be that way. And it's a great example to us. It's a great example to the world and to young people who are looking up to him. See, but Tim, he gets it from Jesus. He learned it from Jesus. That's why he is the way he is. Because he's followed Jesus all his life. He was raised as a missionary kid. And so he knows the Lord deeply. And he has that walk with God. And he has a clear understanding of how he fits into God's plan. Which is really important that we understand that. That he understands that he's just one part in a bigger picture. He's just one little piece to the puzzle of God. And as long as we understand that, we're okay. He gets it from Jesus, and Jesus understands the unfolding plan of his Father for his own life. We've been seeing that as we've looked at this first year of Jesus' life. We talked about the idea of harmony last week. And how harmony, to harmonize something is to bring it together, right? To take all the pieces and put it together so we get a bigger view of what's really going on. And we do that, we should do that with our lives. As we step back and we look at all the different things that God has been doing in our lives, all the things that brought us to where we are today, has created for us a platform for us to share. Some of it's been negative, some of it's been positive, some of it we've celebrated, some of it we've cried. But it's all gone into making us who we are this day, today. And God wants to use it all for his glory. And if we keep our eyes on him, if we keep looking to him, and we keep this flow going into our minds of everything that Jesus did and everything that Jesus said, we're gonna be able to have a better perspective on our life. And it's going to be good. It's the first year of his unfolding ministry. Okay? Remember, he popped onto the scene. He was baptized by who? John the Baptist in the Jordan. He went from there, right, and was tempted by the devil for 40 days and 40 nights where he fasted and was tempted. He chose a few disciples, gathered them around, and they began to follow him. Remember, they went up to Nazareth where he went to Cana and he turned water into wine. Remember that private miracle he did for his family and for his friends. And they were a little wowed at his ability, but his mother knew that there was something special about him. And he came back down to Jerusalem. Remember what he did in Jerusalem? Remember what he did? He went into the temple and he cleared it out. Remember, turned over tables. How dare you turn my father's house into a den of robbers? They were ripping off the people. They were using God to rip off God's people. They were stealing from them, taking full abuse of the people. And so from there, he went out into Judea. Remember, and he was his disciples were baptizing. John the Baptist's disciples were baptizing. He went on into Samaria, met the woman at the well. Remember, he spent 2 days in Samaria teaching the people, and they said, now we believe not because of her testimony, but because of what we have seen and what he has done in our eyes, we believe. And so this unfolding ministry, this unfolding plan of God, the big picture of God in Jesus' life continues to just unfold. And we get to look at the New Testament and we get to harmonize the Gospels and we get to see how God was strategically putting things in place in the life of Jesus. And what that does for me and you is this. It says, you know, everything that's happened to us, good and bad, is the same as with Jesus. It's all got a purpose. It's all got a plan. Whether we like it or not, God is working on our behalf. And he's unfolding his plan in our lives. Just like he did with Jesus. Just like he did with Jesus. And so from Samaria, he goes up to Nazareth. Remember, his hometown. And they love him there. Remember, they're celebrating Jesus. They're like, yes, Our boy, he's come back. Jesus, do for us what you did in all the other towns. Heal our people. Take care of us, Jesus. Pour out your blessings on us. And Jesus does something really strange. Remember? He goes into the synagogue and he opens the scroll of Isaiah and he says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he has anointed me to preach good news to the poor and the brokenhearted. And the people want him to do miracles, but he says, no, I'm not doing miracles for you because you want too much. I'm going to the Gentiles. I'm going to heal them. Just like back in the day, God our Father did. When all the Israel wanted God to work on their behalf, he went to those outer towns and he performed miracles among them, but he did not among Israel because they were selfish and stubborn.